Hello, and thank you for watching Ask Ron, where Ron answers our Gold Club members' questions each and every week. My name is Jessie, and I have Ron here ready to answer your questions.
Fire away, girl. Fire away.
All right.
I can tell you one thing for all you snowbirds watching right now. I'm sorry. I'm looking out my window. It's got to be 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Most beautiful weather you could have right here. So in case you're moving down here, don't. All the houses have already been bought in Florida. All right, what you
Yes,
got, Jesse?
we're full and we have great weather.
Yes, we do. One more thing. Somebody asked me yesterday, who is on that picture of that guy on the wall behind me? And the answer is that's my dad. His name was Fred Legrand, and they called him Frenchie. And he was in the amusement business all of his life, died at the age of 82 in the mid-90s. So now you know. Go ahead. I won't interrupt again.
That's nice. That's a cool story, Ron. I like that. All right. If you guessed it, we're going to start off our first questions with Tony and Angie Stewart. They've always got great questions. Their question is, are there times when you should give up on selling a pretty house on a lease option and instead just list it? If you bought correctly, you could get a nice profit anyway. But I know that is not optimal because you are killing the golden goose.
Tony, that's a very astute question. And yes, I've done that several times over the last 40 some years. In fact, I got one like that just right now, exactly. The house that I tell you about that I bought for $440, that's worth $525. We had it out on a lease option for 2 months, and yeah, we got over 100 calls, but I wanted my $50,000, and we haven't got it out of it yet. So I'm actually thinking about listing it right now as we sit here. But I'll tell you, it was a hard conclusion to come to. Because I mean, look, what's the commission alone at 5% on $500,000 sale? There was 25 grand right down the drain, and that was hard for me to stomach, which I don't have if I put a lease option tenant buyer in it. I should, in fact, keep it on the market. I make a lot more money on the lease purchase with it than I would flipping it. But there is a $2,500 a month payment on it, so you know I've made one so far, and that was 90 days after we bought it. So. Yeah, that's a decision that you're going to have to struggle with, and it's going to depend largely on what is your profit one way and what's your profit the other way, and probably the payment. If you're starving for cash, you don't want to be making a bunch of payments on it. So I got two choices: list it, and I've already talked about listing it, and I've already sent a realtor out there to look at it, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So ask me an easier question next time.
They'll have one for you next week.
All right. That's a good question.
Right. Next one's from Phil. He's also from Ohio. He says, I have been a Gold Club member for many years and have followed Ron's pretty house system successfully by purchasing FSBOs using turns. My success was due in large part to the leads I received from you every day of the FSBOs in the counties I purchased, which I then submitted to your VAs to call. However, according to my VA support person, the Dreams Pro system does not identify houses that are for sale by owner. Is this correct?
No, it identifies, in fact, I don't think it identifies MLS properties. I think it's all for sale by owners. I heard rumors though that they were going to add some MLS properties, but you would know the difference just by the ad. If there's ad is in there by a realtor, they have to disclose that they're a realtor right in the ad. So I think you're telling me that you have bought properties. There are old Gold Club leads that we got from a company that scoured their websites every day and sent them to us. Problem is, with that company went bad on us and had a period of time where we're going to get any leads because of their own issues. And so we got a better idea right now. It's called Dreams Pro AI. And in fact, if you really want to get this done and get your system set up, come to Florida next week on Jacksonville on the 12th and 13th. We're having a 2-day event to not just teach you how to use Dreams Pro, but actually get it set up for you while you sit there and do things like pulling your own leads. We'll pull your own leads in your city ready for you to mail. And you can do that sitting there while you're at it if you want to. And we got to get you, make sure you can do ARVs correctly and use the Dreams Pro system, which in your case simply means learn what it will do so you can get your VAs to do it for you. I'm all for letting other people do the stuff that they do day in and day out. And we're even going to practice closing calls. And we are going to, in other words, this is participation. This is implementation, not just training. Got a whole list of stuff we're going to do. I don't know what you've been through, whether you're a master or you've been in the mentoring or whether you just been a quick start or what you've been doing. So call the office and they'll tell you it's inexpensive and you can bring a guest. 800-567-6128. We got it's won't take more than 20 entities because you got to bring your laptop and we load it up with stuff while you're here. So if you can get there that fast, get down here next week and we'll see you next week. Well, we got this beautiful weather. I mean,
yeah, all right. This is the 10-day weather. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, well, day before they arrive, we'll go into the 20s probably.
Oh gosh, I hope not. Don't say that. Next up, we have Derrick from DC. I have a property and a trust that I want to sell. My real estate agent says the deed isn't in my name, but I am the successor trustee. My title company says everything is good to close.
Give your real estate agent a copy of your trust and tell her to go learn about trust. And by the way, if she won't take that to close with, then you don't need her anyway. An attorney's going to close it. What do you need the agent for? You don't need their permission to do anything. And she might learn something. You never know. That is if she's open to it.
Yeah, that's good. You actually answered his question. That's where he was getting at.
When you sell a house out of a land trust, you don't sign anything anyway. The trustee signs, whoever that is. And if the title company says it's okay, yeah, I don't know what to tell you about it. Maybe you can do her a favor and get to her and the title company on the phone together, perhaps, because that's a dumb mistake she's making. Of course, they don't teach land trusts in real estate school. What's next?
All right. We have got Tom from Nebraska.
From Nebraska.
I recently heard a term that I haven't heard before. Performance deed. Can you explain it, why it's used, how it's used, and when and who uses it?
The answer is no, I can't explain it because I've never heard of it either. It might be something that is just conducive of Nebraska, but I don't know. From the title of it, it sounds like they got to get something accomplished before they get the title, but I wouldn't know that. That's a question in fact, look it up on Google. Probably get the answer right on Google. What is a performance deed?
Performance deed.
Performance?
Performance.
Yeah. What is a performance deed? Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Come on, Google, wake up. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Google ain't answering me today.
What about Siri?
She's ghosting. Oh, no wonder. It is Siri on my phone. Hey, Siri. What is a performance deed? Performance refers to the completion of the task of obligations anticipated in the contract. That's just what I thought it was. So there you go. I knew that all the time.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Never heard the term. It sounds to me, you say it's a performance deed, but it's got the condition and they got to finish something before they actually get title to the property.
All right. Our last question is from James from Maryland.
Okay.
All right. He's got kind of a long question, so keep up. My business partner and I have a priority question about a property we purchased in 2021 using my LLC. We intended to be 50-50 partners, but the lender required me to be listed as 80% owner in the operating agreement. We want to create a land trust with equal partnership. We need to know if the purchasing LLC will lose power to change beneficiaries after transferring the property to the trust, and if our new joint LLC can have a sole decision-making authority. We're also wondering if this transfer will nullify the 80-20 operating agreement and whether the revocable or irrevocable trust is better for our business plan.
That's a whole host of questions. All right, last thing you want is an irrevocable trust. Definitely do not want that, especially if you got a partner. You know what irrevocable means? Once you put it in, you ain't getting it back out. I mean, that end you can sell it, but even then, the proceeds got to go into that irrevocable trust. So do not do that. You better get some legal help on this one. Look, if you got an LLC that owns the property now, and you know that question was kind of complicated, so correct me if I'm wrong, and you are already 50-50 ownership of it, I wouldn't do anything with that. Yeah, the manager of the LLC signs the deed when it's time to sell, and that's over. My biggest cautionary is, why do you need a 50-50 partner? And I can tell you, I broke up a whole ton of partnerships when I asked that simple question, you know, what do you need him for? What do you need her for? And nobody has a good answer. Because if both of you are trying to do the same task, it's only a matter of time till you're at war with each other and wondering why you need that partner. And truthfully, you don't need a partner. Well, either you need somebody to put up the money, or you need somebody to do the work and you put up the money. Either way, it's a one property partnership. It's not an LLC with 50-50 ownership in it. Very rarely do those work out. Somewhere along the line, somebody gets disheartened, or somebody wants to focus on something else and the partner's not doing their job. So you can buy a property, if you want, make the LLC the beneficial interest of the land trust, but then the partner that's doing all of the work or putting up all the money is probably going to be the only owner of the LLC, but there's an agreement, a consulting agreement that goes along with that. Just the same way when I partner with students. They'll never get in my LLC. They'll never get on my land trust, because if they get on either one of those documents that owns the property, I can't get them out if we can't agree on stuff. And in other words, there's always room for argument. And 50-50 is a no-no to me. So this agreement between, let's say you're a student of mine and you bring me a deal, you get a consulting agreement that tells how you get paid. Therefore, I don't need your signature on anything to sell the property, but you know, bound by what the agreement says. Same thing. I've learned that lesson so many times the hard way. I don't put anybody in my LLC except my wife and I, tenants by the entirety in my state. What state does he live in?
He lives in Maryland.
I don't know if Maryland has tenants by the entirety or not. Let me ask. Hey Siri, is Maryland a tenants by the entirety state? The states recognize tenants by the entirety: Alaska, Arkansas, Delaware, District of Columbia, Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland. Maryland is a tenants by the entire state. Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Vermont, Virginia, and Wyoming. Pretty much got the country covered there, don't we? So yes, Maryland is a tenants by the entirety state. Now that is no good to you unless your husband and wife are taking ownership of the property. If it's two partners, it's irrelevant. So anyway, you're going to have to decide how you want to take ownership of the LLC that owns the beneficial interest of the properties in land trust. There's a class on that, by the way, here on Gold Club site. It's called 4 LLCs. I teach it at every one of my boot camps. Very valuable information to you. You'll not get it anywhere else. It's also been approved by Bob Bloom, who's the attorney out in Dallas doing estate planning for all of our, many of our students. You're going to wind up probably owning the LLC in a limited partnership, and then creditors can't get at the assets in it. And actually, the last thing you want to do, if possible, is own something 50-50. Creditor against one can take that 50 from that other. But tenants by the entirety is owned 100% undivided. Therefore, a creditor cannot get at part of it because it's undivided. Nobody knows what part of it means. And I'm sure that went just like that. Go on the Gold Club site, go under, I think it's under training. Hit the training button and then put 4 LLCs, and you'll see about an hour or hour something long lesson on it. Very valuable information to you. So I'm glad you
And
brought
I'll
it up.
post that down below, so you guys just check that out.
All right, next.
All right, that was absolutely it.
That's it, huh?
That was it.
All right, guys, we got a boot camp in Florida coming up the end of this month. Still got time to get in. In fact, honestly, I've only got 3 seats left in it because we got a meeting in our meeting room at the office, and we can't, we can't squeeze any more people in it. We don't have a room stretcher. So you still got time to get in that. I strongly urge you to get down there and come see me next week, because I'm not going to do another one of these until February, March, April, I think. These brand new implementation power days, very important to your success. And you can bring your, parent, child, spouse, significant other. And frankly, I would bring anybody on your team that is actually doing the work with the systems and meeting. And of course, you're going to delegate to them as well if you have one. I would not go to a seminar without having that delegator there with me, because I sleep half the time and I miss a lot of it, and they would get it all. Plus, they're going to wind up doing it all anyway, so might as well let them hear it from the horse's mouth. Same here. Anyway, let's get going here. We're already in February. Gee, many Christmas. The year's already going by so fast. Let's get going. We got to get going. All right. By the way, today is Adel's birthday. And so if you get a chance, wish him happy birthday. Today's also my wife's birthday. You won't get a chance to wish her happy birthday. She turns 80 today. Oh my God, I can't believe it. 80. That woman's getting old fast. All right. If we got nothing else, then that'll do it.
That's all. Tell Beverly I say happy birthday.
All right. See you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.